everybody, Ben Wood here with another falconry video. Today's video I'm going to be talking about merlins. Recently just got a merlin from the wild, which is something that with a trapping permit and with following the correct regulations we're allowed to do here in the United States. Now merlins are amazing falcons. They're absolutely incredible. And this bird is just brand new, and you can see she's already doing pretty darn well. So I want to talk about the species. Now this was the last falcon of the United States that I ever gave a chance in any way, shape, or form. I gave a lot of foreign falcons a chance first, because in my early years, there was a book, and I've since purchased a new copy of it, because this is one of my favorite books back in the old days. And I was looking through all the different falcon species of the world, but when it came to merlins, the picture, the painting, which was well done, they just looked so pansy. They looked so bland. The malar stripes under each eye, they looked very weak compared to, for example, in the same book, looking at the pictures of the American kestrels with these bold colors and bold markings. The merlins just seemed so muted and seemed so boring to me and so pastel in their colors. I didn't know anything about them, and they didn't seem much bigger than a kestrel. And so my thinking was, well, I ought to fly a kestrel because a kestrel seems a lot more fun. So it was years and years and years before I ever finally gave a merlin a chance. And once I did, I was absolutely hooked. They're the most incredible falcon to fly. And here's the reason why. Merlins, they're not huge. I think she's like 230, 240 grams tonight, something like that. And but here's the neat thing about them. Their size. When it comes to the density of atmosphere on our planet, if you are over a certain size and weight and mass, then you have to do as much effort to put in to stay up as to move forward. You think about something, think about airplanes. Think how fast airplanes have to fly in order to have air go over their wings to create lift. And then you have things like butterflies or things even smaller than that. You have tiny little insects where for them, the density of atmosphere would be akin to us traveling through water. They literally, it's like they're swimming through the sky. Now, kestrels are just small enough that they're a bit butterfly-like in their flight. They can fly fast. They have some mass to them, but not enough to have some oomph. And once you get into bigger falcons, bigger than a merlin, like oplomado falcons, and then, on up, a male prairie falcon, peregrines, landers, all these bigger falcons. These are falcons that they have a lot of power, but they have a lot of weight. They have a lot of musculature to keep them going because they're having to flap as much to stay up as to move forward. A merlin is the absolute perfect balance. These are falcons that are just the right size to be able, that all of their flying is going forward. It's just, they're the perfect size. They have a ton of mass. They're very dense, and they can but because they're not fighting so hard to stay up, they can just go and go and go and go. Now, merlins have enormous toes. I'll show you some pictures of some other merlins. I'm trying to talk a little quieter and try not to be as wild in my movements as I usually am in these videos because I've got a new bird and trying to get her used to things. Enormous feet. They're bird hunters. They used to be called the pigeon hawk, even though they're not a hawk, because they can hunt pigeons. That's what I like to hunt with them. Most people don't. Most people around here hunt sparrows and starlings and like to target flocks of starlings. You can just park a mile away, get your merlin out, put the telemetry on, put it out, let it just sun itself, and then it'll see the flock of starlings. It'll start bobbing its head, and it'll go take off, and it'll work that whole flock, just like a shark or going after a whole school of fish. It's amazing to watch. It's incredible to watch. But I like to hunt merlins on pigeons. It's my favorite thing to do. And now there's 3 subspecies. I'll put a link down below. Unfortunately, it's an older video, but a video I did where it's got the 3 different subspecies that we have here in the United States. There's the Richardsons, which are the lightest, and they're usually the biggest. Then there's the Columbarius, which is kind of in between in color, a little darker, and then the Suckleyes, which are the darkest. Now, depending on how you measure the banding, Suclei are supposed to be from the Pacific Northwest. And this bird, if you are from the Pacific Northwest, you're going to say, that's not a Suclei. But around here, with the markings, if you, I'm probably not going to show you. She's kind of right in between there. But I like to fly the dark birds myself. They're my favorites. They're always my favorite to work with. But really, any merlin, male or female, any subspecies, is an absolute treasure to fly and a great bird to work with. I am going to be showing some of how I train this bird bit by bit, step by step. And I'm actually working on a huge video covering all the Aquila eagles and all the sister lineage of them as well, and it's just taking a lot of research and a lot of time acquiring photos and stuff. So I'm going to put this video out instead this Monday, but I just wanted to show you. And again, if you ever have the ability to fly a merlin in any way, shape, or form, they are incredible. They have stamina, they have power, they're easy to train, they're fun to have around. I love to keep them indoors and just have them just sitting around. They acclimate really well. They get very loyal, but they have so much power. And again, if you haven't ever thought about it, flying a female merlin on pigeons is one of the coolest things on earth. They're similar in weight, and it's pretty impressive. It's like a gyrfalcon taking down a sage grouse, right? It's really kind of fun. So I'm going to show this process and show bit by bit, but where I am right now is just this social thing where I'm having her around, commotion, watching TV, and slow hand motions around. And you can see she's opening her beak a little, but I've been feeding her I'm feeding her tidbits like this, little bits of meat, and you can see how well she's doing. She'll jump a little bit now and then, but she's doing very well and training up very quickly. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's shorter this week, but again, I've just been putting all this effort getting ready for Christmas and working on this monster of a video on the Aquila eagles that will be coming out very soon. So be watching for that, and again, I'll put a few links down below to some of my other merlin videos, and if you haven't already, if you could hit subscribe, I really appreciate it. If you if you have questions, send an email to benwoodrufffalconry@gmail.com. I'm trying to compile all the questions and have some Q&A videos that I'm going to be producing here coming up. But hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for names for this girl, let me know. And hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, happy hawking.